Hey everybody, I'm Joe DeGanzik, and this is Smarter Home Life. I'm coming to you this time from my tiny little kitchen in the tiny smart home. You know, they say, of course, at parties and this time of year during the holidays, the kitchen is kind of, where everyone gathers in the home. You could possibly call it the hub of activity. Oh, okay, all right, I'll stop. No more inside terrible jokes and puns. This is the review video of the much anticipated Google Home Hub. This is a Google Home device, smart speaker with a display on the front of it. And this is largely Google's answer to, of course, the Amazon Echo Show and to the other products that were introduced earlier this year, the smart displays from JBL and from Lenovo that run the Google Assistant and largely the same exact software suite that's on this thing. Which, speaking of this thing, it has a 7-inch diagonal HD display. It's a good looking display. It's got some special features. We'll talk about that in a minute. And on the back, it's fabric covered. You've got your speaker, you've got your mute switch control, you've got physical up and down volume controls, which is the first time we've seen that on a Google Home device. And you've got your power input. Comes in multiple colors, should fit any decor. It is smaller than you think, as seen in this comparison photo with my iPhone 7 Plus. That's pretty much all I can say about the actual physical characteristics. It does put out about the sound of a Google Home Mini, maybe a little bit louder. It's not a Google Home, to be certain, and it's certainly not an Amazon Echo Show or one of the JBLs or one of the other smart speakers, but it's reasonable. It's $150. It's reasonable. You get reasonable sound for what you're paying for, and that's really all I can say about that in terms of the audio quality. It's okay for podcasts. It's okay for general music listening. This is not something you're going to be spending hours reading on or closely looking at all the time with your phone or your tablet. It's a light consumption device. At the top, you've got your 2 microphones that'll pick up your voice, and then you have a ambient light sensor. It might look like a camera. They opted not to put a camera on it for privacy purposes, so if you make calls on Google Duo, you might be able to see your other party, but they will not be able to see you. So the ambient light sensor adjusts the display, not just for the brightness, and I have a light over here that I can kind of turn down, and you'll see the display get darker automatically. It just, of course, it changed photos, so that wasn't a really good test. Let's try this again. And you'll see it actually change, and now you'll see actually it'll come back up to brightness. But it also adjusts for the type of lighting in the room. So, think daytime versus nighttime. It's nighttime right now. I have warm white, kind of soft white lighting, and that's the same as the filter that's on this light. If I pull this off, and I go to daylight or more cool lighting, you'll see the display actually changes. Now, this is an optional feature. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty nice feature. I've left it turned on, and it does make the display look really good no matter what time of day it is. Now let's go to the other big feature that at least is exclusive to this device, the Google Home Hub, at least for now. It's going to be coming to the JBL and the other Lenovo and other future Google Home or Google Assistant display devices in the future. For those of you who might just have a couple smart home devices or maybe all of your smart home devices directly controlled through Google Assistant and you've already placed them into your virtual rooms, you will love this feature because it basically gives you that whole smart home hub concept right on the display. And I think that's the standout feature of this device. So let's go back there. Let's try this for the third time. And I'll go into lights and we'll go into kitchen, and we got 2 lights. With the redesigned Google Home app on smartphones and tablets, you could, of course, go in and turn things on and off, and you get that whole kind of hub activity or hub display, so you can control these things, but you didn't get things like color attributes, of which you do get, and I'm going to go in here. I'm going to go to 2 lights, and I'm going to go to my kitchen counter, which is that guy, and let's see. I'm going to change this. Make this a little bit brighter, and then I'm going to change the color. So the color is like this new thing that you can do, not really that new, but you can do it with the Google Home Hub that you couldn't ordinarily do it with the other thing. We're on green. Let's go to blue. So this is something, I would assume they're going to bring this to the Google Home app that's on like smartphones and tablets. So you can adjust your various things. Not all devices, if I go back here and I pull down again and I go to locks, certain devices are not yet supported to control them, but you do at least get the status so I can see it is locked. And I could go to my thermostat and I could see the various, what the temperature is. Broadcast gives me that ability within the Google Assistant to basically talk to other Google Home devices, so you can do it right from here. And of course, media, if I tap on that, of course, I'm going to get, I can select one of these things and I could cast media to it. These are the various other devices that I've got. I've got a Chromecast and my other Google Home devices. So on the main screen, this is the same interface that you may have seen on the other smart displays from Lenovo and from JBL. Obviously, a totally different design from something like an Echo Show. I don't personally have an Echo Show. I've seen them in the wild. Personally, of course, many people have them. And of course, you're getting basically the same results when you talk to the device. I'll do that here in a second. The two assistants are fairly well matched at this point. You're going to get to the same result. Usually you're just going to go about it differently. Google tends to know more about the world. Amazon wants to sell you stuff. I've turned on some personalization from the little bit of information that I give to Google in this particular account. So I've got some things set up for tomorrow, and then I get some news and Google Play Music suggestions, YouTube information. Then I can see kind of all the different things that the assistant can do. And then it gives you some rotating things in terms of nighttime, daytime. And I'm going to be setting your devices off, so my apologies. Hey Google, play The West Wing Weekly.
The West Wing Weekly. I'll pick up where you left off.
Tickets are on sale now. We will be joined by Mary McCormick, making in simplicity. They're to expand.
Here's the episode.
So you get some on-screen controls, which, sometimes navigating media and so forth through these voice services is a little bit of a pain. So with the on-screen controls, you have the ability to actually literally just start stepping through episodes, pausing playback and so forth, and it's a little more helpful. Same thing goes for one of the other standout features of the Google Assistant on these smart displays is cooking. Of course, that's kind of why I chose, I'm not going to start making a recipe here, but let's just do that. Hey Google, show me a recipe for chocolate cake.
Sure, here are some recipes.
All right, so you're going to get various recipes that are supported through the Google Assistant. And so I could scroll down here. You may not get all the recipes that you're familiar with on the web or your own personal recipes, but so this could be a discovery thing. So this has pretty good reviews. Let's tap on this. And I can see I've got the various reviews and how much time it's going to take, the various steps, and I can scroll here. But, in the kitchen, you've got your hands, you've got ingredients out, you're ready to put things together. So I'm just going to say start.
There are 12 ingredients. You can ask for the next ingredient or skip to the instructions.
So it's
the first
very...
ingredient is 1.5 cups flour.
So she will start talking to you about the various ingredients. Then we can skip to the instructions. She'll do that one at a time until you're ready for the next one, or you could tap it, or you could say, hey, next.
There's 10 steps. I'll read them one by one. When you're ready to hear more, you can say next step.
Last year, Google introduced phone calls, at least outbound phone calls, on the Google Home smart speakers. Of course, this does present some challenges without having a display.
Calling 800-433-7300.
Really hope this goes through. Survey says. And thus, on the display, we get an actual dial pad.
Monitored to ensure high quality service.
Para español, marque 9.
Yeah.
There are 95 calories in one medium apple.
Okay, so we got some information on the screen. We've got the picture of an apple, makes sense, and some additional things I could ask for. I could just tap on that, say, about apples.
According to Wikipedia, an apple is a sweet, edible fruit produced by an apple tree.
Recently, both Amazon and Google, of course, have pushed their smart home routines that go beyond the smart home itself, lights and locks. You can have it play the news and get you up in the morning and have, different sound effects play, bird songs and all kinds of different things. But sometimes you want to activate those because they actually can have a few different steps, dim the lights, turn on the TV, a couple different things. So, hey, G, search engine, where are the routines that I can trigger them manually? Lady A lets you do it from the Alexa app. Can't do it from the new Google Home Smart Display. guys, you really should work on that. The other thing, the final gripe I had with this, trying to get this to work, and I kind of laughingly stuck it on top of one or two Amazon Echo Dots, because I felt that sitting right on the counter and with its small 7-inch display, it wasn't extremely usable to me. Not that I couldn't see it, but I had to bend over, tap on it, bring the display, down for the smart home stuff, and it was farther away. It just didn't feel that usable, and I was trying to integrate it into my kitchen experience and put it on different parts of my countertop and see where it would fit. But if it wasn't elevated by a couple inches, it just didn't feel right. It just didn't feel natural using the display. I think Google could introduce a larger version of this, or a device that actually had the display elevated by an inch or two, and that would actually make it just a little bit more usable. Now, on the plus side, it is a smaller device. It's probably going to fit a little bit easier into your home depending on where you want to place it. It's got the various color choices. It's got the fabric back. It's a nice looking device, and let's call it for what it really is. It's a fancy digital photo frame. So I think, and you think about the overall value for what you're getting with all the visual information, the various smart home features, the pull down option for $150, even though it is a smaller device. I think that's a really good, it's a really good value. Overall, I like the device, and I think if I was more of a traditional or a new smart home user, when I had all of my various devices all hooked into the Google Assistant so it could place them into the rooms that I had selected and kind of build that whole nice little interface, I think for people who are in that kind of world and in this new paradigm, you would love this device because it'll give you that feeling that you've got a true little control center. And that wraps up this review of the brand new Google Home Hub. I am, of course, here for your questions, to answer smart home questions, simple stuff over email. You can get to the contact form directly at smarterhomehelp.com. That's just a little part of the Smarter Home Life universe. And if you've got a more complex question or a big project that you need some specific some TLC with, check the box for a smart home consultation, and I love doing those. It's a really great experience for both you and for me to get that figured out for you through real-time video chat. Otherwise, get Smarter Home Life around the web at Smarter Home Life, or the entire collection of videos right here on YouTube. As always, I'm Joe Degancic. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.